Story of the haunted house. It all started when a young couple, Raj and Priya, decided to buy their dream home. They had been searching for months and finally stumbled upon a listing that seemed too good to be true. Nestled in the outskirts of a sleepy town, this old Victorian house seemed perfect. It had a charming exterior, a spacious garden, and an inviting aura that drew them in. But little did they know, it hid a dark secret. A secret that would soon turn their dream into a nightmare. On their very first night, as they were unpacking, they heard whispers. Faint at first, almost like a distant echo. At first, they thought it was just the wind. The house was old after all, and old houses make strange noises. But then, the whispers turned into clear voices. Voices that seemed to be coming from the very walls of the house. "Leave this place," they said. The words were chilling, filled with an urgency that was impossible to ignore. Raj brushed it off, thinking it was just their imagination. He tried to reassure Priya, telling her it was just the stress of moving. Days turned into weeks, and the eerie events didn't stop. In fact, they seemed to intensify. One night, Priya woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. They were slow, deliberate, and unmistakably real. She nudged Raj, but he was fast asleep. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't wake him. Gathering her courage, she tiptoed out of bed and followed the sound. Each step she took was filled with dread. What she saw next sent chills down her spine. Standing at the end of the hallway was a figure of a woman in a tattered white dress. Her eyes were hollow, and her face was twisted in agony. It was a sight that Priya would never forget. Her eyes were hollow, and her face was twisted in agony. The ghostly figure seemed to be reaching out to her, as if trying to communicate. Priya screamed, waking Raj, and the figure vanished. The terror in her voice was enough to convince Raj that something was terribly wrong. The next morning, they decided to dig into the house's history. They needed to understand what was happening. What they found was horrifying. The house had a dark past that had been buried for decades. Decades ago, a woman named Anjali lived in that house. She was a kind soul, but the townspeople were suspicious of her. She was accused of witchcraft and met a gruesome end. The townspeople believed she had cursed the house with her dying breath. Her spirit was said to haunt the house, seeking revenge. The more they learned, the more they realized they were in grave danger. Determined to put an end to the hauntings, Raj and Priya sought the help of a local priest. They hoped he could cleanse the house of its dark energy. The priest performed a cleansing ritual, and for a while things seemed to calm down. The house felt lighter, almost peaceful. But one night, the couple woke up to the same whispers. This time they were louder, angrier, and more insistent. This time they were louder, angrier. The voices seemed to be coming from all around them, echoing through the house. "Leave this place!" The command was clear and terrifying. The walls began to bleed, and furniture started to move on its own. It was as if the house itself was alive and angry. Terrified, Raj and Priya ran out of the house, never to return. They left everything behind, desperate to escape the nightmare. To this day, the house remains abandoned, and locals say they can still hear Anjali's cries on a quiet night. The legend of the haunted house lives on, a chilling reminder of the past. So, if you ever find yourself near that old Victorian house, remember Raj and Priya's story. Think twice before you step inside. Some places are better left alone. The spirits that dwell within may never find peace. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this terrifying tale, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Your support helps us bring you more tales of the supernatural. Until next time, stay safe and sleep with one eye open.